What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the season 1 finale of Coffee with Cory, which is just crazy to think we're already at the season finale. I'm your host, Cory Jackson, and today I'm honored to sit down with hit songwriter and master storyteller Steve Dean, whose songs have shaped the soundtrack of country music for decades. From George Strait and Reba McEntire to the Oak Ridge Boys and Rodney Atkins and many more, Steve's catalog is packed with award-winning hits and timeless truths. Today we're talking about the power of persistence, knowing when to stay the course and when it's time to pivot. We dive into parts of Steve's story and how this theme has shaped not only his career, but also his life. So, if you've ever questioned your direction or wondered when it's time to hold on or let go, this episode is for you. You know, I actually haven't really used this pad very much, but I've got to do this. Guys, let's welcome my good friend, Steve Dean, to the show.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
I had to use
Cory.
that, man.
Hey, man, it's good to see you, brother.
It is so good to see you. It's been a little bit, but
Yep.
man, before we, or even this morning and before we jumped on here, I was thinking, I'm so grateful for your friendship, and you just bring a joy every time that we are together, whether it's songwriting or even just chatting. You just, man, you bring a joy that just lifts me up and makes me so excited. So, dude, I'm so glad to have you on here.
Well, I'm glad to be here, man. I love you a lot. I think you got a lot of talent, and I want to write some hit songs with you.
Let's
More
do
hit
it, man.
songs with you, I should say.
That's right. We've got some
more.
great stuff I'm so
We
excited about, man. Well, to dive in here today, first off, in the last podcast, I had some Arkansas folks on, Cliff and Susan. You know them really well as well.
I do.
Today, man, you're from Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas. I'm even wearing Fayetteville. Shout out to Fayetteville. We're repping Arkansas.
I love it, man. I love Arkansas, brother.
Me
I just
too.
love old Arkansas.
I love that. Well, Steve, seriously, thank you for being here today and for your time. To
My
kind of
pleasure.
have just like a start here, I always love to ask a couple questions. And now, before we jumped on here today, we were talking about coffee a little bit. And I know there for a minute you went through where you weren't drinking it, but you're like, today I am.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am. Miss my
tell
mouth
me,
here.
man, what kind of coffee are you drinking nowadays?
Well, it's called Peace Coffee. Like
Peace Coffee, nice.
P-E-A-C-E. With a peace,
Yeah.
peace sign on it. It's
Very cool.
What do you call it? Organic coffee.
Yeah.
And my daughter brought it over to me because I was saying I wanted to start drinking coffee again because I was tea wasn't just giving me the kick I needed, you know.
Yeah.
And I was drinking this other coffee and it was kind of giving me a heartburn or something. So I said, I can't drink that anymore. But she said, drink this, it'll be good. So she's right.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I haven't had that brand before, so I'm gonna have to find it.
I think it's a little more expensive than it's not a $7 bag. It's like a $13 bag. So it's not that much more expensive.
Yeah. That's not bad. So, do you like your coffee black, or do you like creamer and stuff in it?
Oh, I have to have some creamer.
Okay.
I
Well, what do you
usually
use?
I use a carnation vanilla, zero sugar.
Okay.
And it's good.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
I love just seeing like what people like to drink, especially coffee wise, because coffee, I do love water. I have to drink water all the time, but
Oh, yeah.
if there's anything else that is my go-to, I will drink coffee any time of the day.
I will too now. So there's some writing days where somebody goes, would you like some coffee? And I go, yeah, I think that'd be great. I need a little pick-me-up for about the 2:30 in the afternoon, to
Right,
keep on going
right.
to 5 o'clock.
Well, man, one other question that I love to ask before we really dive in here is, do you remember the last time you went fishing?
Yes.
Okay. What, have you been fly fishing before?
No, but I've swatted a few.
Yeah. All right.
Look at a fish.
You know what? I think I have a sound pad for that somewhere, but I might hit
Yeah.
the wrong one. I can't remember which one that is.
No, I never did fly fish. I have some friends
Yeah.
that have, and they said, Steve, you need to go with me. And it's just, fishing is just not something that caught on with me. I was about
Yeah.
9 years old the last time I went fishing.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, that's completely understandable.
I just, I mean, it'd be fun to go out there and
Yeah.
if it wasn't too hot, to sit out on the lake. I love going out on the
Right.
water and stuff. And
Yeah.
but the fishing part, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it for some reason.
Right. I recently just, I grew up fishing and recently got into fly fishing. So I always like to ask my guests about that. Man, fly fishing has been a lot of fun. So,
Well, there's another
just,
Arkansas guy named Dr. David Good. Now he lives out in Colorado, in Montrose, Colorado, and he's been real involved with us with the Freedom Sings project.
yeah, I
And
want us to talk about that
he is
here in
a
a minute.
big fly fisherman. He loves
Really?
it so
Okay.
much. Yeah, he's out. He knows how to do it, man. He's got it down. And he
Wow.
says, Steve, we need to go next time you're out. And I'm going, okay. We never have yet, but maybe we would.
Man, I'll have to meet him. That's really cool. He's from Arkansas?
He's from, he's actually he's from Little Rock. We went to high school together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
He's a
cool.
psychiatrist out in the Montrose, Colorado area.
Okay. Now, where is that exactly in Colorado?
He calls it the Western Slope.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard
He
of
says
that. All right.
if he goes, I said something about Denver, and he goes, we don't even consider Denver being part of Colorado. He said, we're on the Western Slope. That's the real Colorado. They're down there by, let's see, what is that state? Oh, shoot. Can't think. Utah. They're close
Utah,
to the Utah
yeah.
border. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I've never been on that side of Colorado.
man, it's
I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, very, very cool. I'm going to have to meet him one of these days. So,
Yeah, if he ever
man.
comes back to Arkansas and you're in Arkansas too, then we'll definitely hook up.
yeah, absolutely.
I might just
That'd
ride
be
along
awesome.
with you guys to go fly fishing. I mean,
Let's
not?
do it. Let's do
okay.
it. I'm sure he could teach me a lot because I'm new.
Well, he's a pro at it. I mean, he's
Oh,
got
yeah, I
it down.
bet.
big time.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, man, let's kind of dive into our first segment here.
Okay.
I know a lot about your story, but I'm really excited to get to share this with others today. And I know that the theme of this podcast is really born out of fly fishing and how it's so crazy how with it's fishing or music or whatever we do in life, it really relates back to life.
Yeah.
So today with this first segment, which is Faith and Foundation, I remember it was either one of our songwrites or something when we were just chatting too. I remember you saying your dad had encouraged you to keep writing when you almost gave it up. And so I'd love for you to really start anywhere on your journey, man. But
Okay.
kind of lead us to that and share your story and kind of that moment that led up to that.
Should I start right where that was, where when I made the phone call to my dad?
Man, you can. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then we can go back and forth around there. But what happened
Right.
was, he always was encouraged. Both of my parents very encouraging for me to follow my music path because they knew that it was something that meant a lot to me. And my mother, like I said, my mother was a really accomplished pianist and a great vocalist as well. She never did it professionally, but she was well known around Little Rock at the Christmas time, especially for doing Sweet Little Jesus Boy. She did that spiritual song, and people would come out just to hear her sing it because it was that good.
Oh, wow.
And my dad I said, Dad, why didn't you go ahead and pursue your dream about writing articles about people? And he goes, well, he goes, I really was planning on doing that, but then you came along. And he said, so I thought I need to get a real job. And he went ahead and finished college and got an accounting degree and went into the accounting. He was an accountant for his whole career. So I moved to Nashville in 1980. So I had just finished college, and I was kind of wondering what to do. I mean, I got a job in advertising out of college at UALR in Little Rock. And that didn't seem to work out too well. And he suggested, you know what, why don't you move to Nashville and get the songs you've been writing and get some established artists to record your songs. And I went, wow, damn, that's a great idea. I thought that's the best idea I've ever heard, you know. And so that's what I did. I got my little Toyota SR5 and had a suitcase and a guitar in the back seat, and I drove to Nashville to become a songwriter. Well, several things happened, and I fell into a publishing situation, and I got my first cut on Sylvia. Tom Collins music. This would have been in February of '82, and I've got this first cut on Sylvia, and she was on RCA Records, and the album actually was a gold album. So actually, my first cut was on a gold album.
That's crazy, man!
Just
wow,
unbelievable. And then my second cut was on Ronnie Millsap.
Wow!
6 months later, and he recorded, and then the same song that Millsap recorded. I think it was in March of '83, Steve Wariner put it out as a single. Now, Tom was my publisher, but he also produced Ronnie. He produced Barbara Mandrell, and he produced Sylvia and Steve Wariner. So we had a little farm there that we could, write songs for. But
that's really cool.
So when I got this first single on Steve Wariner, I called my dad up and I said, hey, Dad, oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me back up. We found out we were having a baby. Bethany was coming along, and this was in 1985. And so I called him up, and I said, you know what? I think it might be time for me to get a real job because we're going to have a child, and I got to support my family. And he goes, I don't know if you know if I can even say this without getting emotional about it, but he said, he goes, no. He goes, don't even think about that. He goes, you are already established. You're over there. You've got some songs on some major artists, and your children will adapt to whatever you give them. I mean, that's what they get. And so, he goes, but you're gonna be fine. You just keep going. Don't stop. And I thought, wow. I mean, I hung that phone up, and I held Lori really close, and I was just like, this is what my dad just said,
Wow.
So that was
man.
that was the thing right there. That was because I was at the point because I was looking for advertising agencies around Nashville that I could go get involved with, and he flat said no, don't do it.
Isn't that so cool? And that's when I was thinking about the theme for this episode, I was like, it's almost, I don't know if the word's ironic or what, but it's about pivoting, but how sometimes when we think we need to pivot, it's actually, you have that person come into your life and they're like, no, you need to stay right here. And I mean, what a God thing, man. It's so cool.
Oh, I know. And my dad was, he passed away in October of 2023. So I had him my whole life, up until then. And we were real close, and it's been, I miss him a lot. So.
Oh yeah, I bet. Wow, man. What a story. Thank you for sharing that. Man, what do you think has kept you grounded through the highs and the lows? Cause I know the music industry, there's a lot of that.
I'll have to say, man, that, when I was, there's been, since I've been in the business since 1982, I'm not sure, I know 82 doesn't sound like it's that far back to me, but it really is a long way back. And I'm not even sure how many years ago it was, but, I guess it's about 43 years ago. So there's been a lot of times when the ebb and flow of the business, and it's like you didn't write songs differently ever. You always did the same thing. I mean, you wrote them and you treated it I treated it like a business. And I would go into my publishing company every day, and I'd have co-writes set up. My publisher would set up co-writes for me, or I would set them myself. And, I developed into a great little ring of co-writers. and they were some very talented people, I might say as well, that really helped me a lot along the way and mentored me.
Yeah.
And because some of those guys were like, I was always the youngest in the room for a long, long time until all of a sudden I wasn't. But anyway, a lot of those guys that were, they might have been I might have been 40 when I was 28, let's say, and I'm like, wow, you're 40, man, that's unreal. But they already had a lot of experience in the writing, and they taught me a lot too. I mean, I learned a ton about. I mean, I always was kind of a music guy where they always, I'd bring grooves in and stuff, and we wrote a lot of my grooves and stuff. But a lot of those lyric guys or the older guys had the lyric experience, and they knew what a lyric really was, and they helped me learn what a lyric really was too.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. I remember there's a couple of stories that just kind of come to mind to me as you were telling that, and let's see if I can remember a couple of them here. I remember you coming in, like you saying, you treating it like a business. That's what I love that, because that's really the way I've viewed my artistry with all of it. And I remember we sat down one time to write, and I probably said something ridiculous or something. I can't remember what I said, but you're like, man, I always sit down to write a hit song. And I was like, oh, I love that. I was like, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And, man, just, yeah.
That's what my publisher told me early on. He said, Steve, I need you to write me some hits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll try. I'll do whatever I can to write hits.
But I just love that mindset, like just coming in every time and bringing the best that you have with the gifts God's given you, and no matter what, you're bringing your best.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It is important to treat it like a business. And another Arkansas guy who's just passed away recently, Wayland Holyfield.
Yeah,
he's from Little Rock, and I got to meet with him because my dad's friend knew Wayland. And my dad's friend said, well, does Steve want to talk to Wayland? And Dad goes, well, he probably does. I don't even know if he knows who he is yet. So anyway, we worked out, but my dad's friend said, here's Wayland's number, but Steve has to call him. He's not going to call him. So Wayland was the hottest songwriter in Nashville in 1980. Yeah, in 1980. And so I had a dial phone back then. And so I remember dialing Wayland's number, and I'd get to that last one and I'd hold it, and I'd be thinking, gosh, man, I don't know what am I going to say to this guy? I mean, finally I let that number go. I let that last one go, and it came back, and he answered the phone, and I told him who I was, and he said, yeah, man, so you're from Little Rock? And I went, yeah. And he goes, well, let's come on down. I want to meet with you. Bring me 3 songs that you wrote. So I went down there and I played him 3 songs that I had recorded sound on sound. Now, if you know what that is, it's reel to reel, and you record it, and then you flip a switch, and then you can go back and record another pass, and you can keep doing that for about 6 times. So it was multi-track basically. Right. And so I had this song that I had 3 songs that I'd done on there. And so I played the first one for him, and he goes, hey, that's a pretty good song right there. That's not bad. And I played him the second one, and he goes, don't worry about that one. Let's move on. And then the third one, he said, that chorus is pretty good, man, but those verses, man, you need to rewrite those verses, So I stood up to say, hey, man, well, thank you for seeing me, and I shook hands with him, and he goes, you can call me again. Then there was this little pause, and he said, just don't call me every day. And so, hey, I didn't call him every day. 6 months later, I called Wayland back. And he goes, well, I was wondering when you were going to call me back.
That's funny.
and I brought him some new songs that I had done, and he goes, man, you are coming on strong. He goes, let's get a writing day. So,
dude, that's awesome.
And that's another Arkansas connection, but that's another way of, and he told me, Wayland told me, he said, you love writing songs, right? And I went, I sure do. And he goes, well, that's great, man. He goes, but you know what? it's not called the music business for nothing, but you better take care of the business side of things. He goes, or they will get you every time. So that's what you're talking about. When I treat stuff like a business, I try to, and I know I haven't done that great in certain times with taking care of the business. I mean,
Yeah.
and these days it's even more crazy trying to take care of the business.
Right.
Just
Oh,
because of
man.
the, of all the internet and all that stuff. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just hard to keep up now.
it is, I know. And like all this technology and especially AI, I mean, all that stuff is creeping into my life. And I'm like going, what is this?
Yeah. Me too, man. Me
Yeah.
too.
Really.
Well, man, another question I had for you
Yeah.
kind of in this segment was, how has faith or personal values helped you know when to keep going and when to pivot?
Well, you know what? I pray a lot. And and I try not to I try not to pray when I feel like I need, like something's wrong. I try
Yeah.
to pray all the time, even when things aren't going so well, and I'm praying for strength and guidance. And then when things are going well, I pray for, God, thank you for today. This has been an amazing day.
Yeah.
How could I couldn't have done this without you. I know that these songs that have been written, we're in a room, a bunch of people in a room writing and stuff. And just like when we're writing,
Yeah.
I believe that God's looking over us, and I prayed before songwriting sessions too.
I
I
love
think
that.
we have too, haven't we? And prayed before some
Yeah.
sessions, and asked for the words and the music to come out that'd be pleasing to everyone, and to
Yeah.
God too. But yeah, it's I just try to stay connected that way. And I don't know. I'm not a religious person really. I'm a spiritual person, big time.
Yeah.
That's what I've always been. That's my dad and mom both were very spiritual people, and so I know they handed that down to me, and I'm
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Yeah. Man, how empowering. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Well, Steve, let's move to this next segment here. It's called Music and the Journey.
Okay.
And man, okay, I just have to say one other thing before we move into this segment. I can just see the joy in you, man. And I just love that. I just have to reiterate that because I know you're going to share something here in a little bit about that, and we'll come back to that. But I really appreciate that. It makes me so happy and excited.
Oh,
Well,
thank you, bro.
let's go into this music journey here. I imagine there are multiple turning points in your career. And is there a moment that really stands out where you had to pivot? And you've written, let's stop right there. Do you remember, or is there a moment that really stands out to you when you had to pivot?
While I was in the business, you mean all those years,
Yeah.
from '82 to now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's probably been a few times. There was times when I remember my publisher saying, man, we need to get you a hit. You haven't had one in about 3 years. It'd be like, so you'd have a few songs that would get recorded, and like, I remember in January of I think it might have been '88 or '89, we got a call from MCA Records saying that the Oak Ridge Boys were going to release their first single off of their new album, and it was going to be our song. And I thought, wow, man, this is in January. And so, because a lot of times, man, you write from January to April, and you look back on that, and you see, well, I've written some songs here, but nothing's happening. And you go on up through it, and it gets to be fall, and still nothing has been cut. And you may go through the year a couple of times like that, and but when you get a cut in January, that was a huge moment. That wasn't a pivot moment, but that was a huge moment that said, okay, this is going to be a good year. But
Yeah.
those pivoting times, it's like just trying. Sometimes you have to pivot to. There might be a new writer that you want to get with or something to try to. Maybe what you're writing right now is not working, and so you try somebody else, and that doesn't always work either. But
Yeah.
I just have to stay the course. That's all. That's been my whole thing, is just to stay the course. And I'm still thinking today. I mean, I look back on the last 10 years. I'm like, where'd they go? Where did the last 10 years go? I mean, they have flown by. But I stayed the course anyway. I mean, I guess I could have gone, maybe gotten a job at Home Depot or something, but I didn't want to. I mean, I don't think I need to, because I feel like, I do feel like this. I feel like there's a big hit waiting to happen, and I think it's going to be with you.
Oh, goodness, man. Man, thank you. Wow.
I'm praying for that.
Well, I would be honored. Goodness,
I
truly.
would be too.
Well, man, we may have answered this question a while ago, but
okay.
You've written, and if there's anything else that comes to mind, we can share that. But if not, we can kind of skip over this. But you've written, I mean, for major artists and labels. How do you stay steady in such a fast-moving industry?
Well, okay, so I'd say let's talk about from like 2000 back.
Okay.
First of all, because that's in 2000s when everything started changing big time with the streaming, and that was just starting to come in, but with the publishing company that I was with, Tom Collins Music, I was there for 16 years. Well, it was a camaraderie there, and Tom, like I said, Tom had artists in his stable. When Barbara Mandrell would come in to listen to songs, and we had, we'd all be pitching our songs there. So, and if she would record one of our songs, everybody was happy for whoever got the cut. Other people might say, I wish I'd have got that, but, but it was just like I don't know, man, it's just like an everyday thing. It was, they were in our lives. The artists were in our lives. I mean, like one day, Reba McEntire would walk into the room, and people would just come down and say, hi, hey, Reba, how you doing, and Barbara would come in, and Ronnie would come in. I had an office down at the back of the house, and when one day there was a knock on the door, and this was early in my career, opened the door, and there stood Ronnie Millsap. And I went, Ronnie, what are you doing here? And he goes, hey, brother, who are you? Who is the brother, because he's blind, he couldn't see me. And I told him, he goes, hey, Steve, how you doing? And so it's just the way those people, they were so nice, and they were so accommodating, and it just made it feel like this is the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. So that's how I stayed steady, because of the publishing company. And I had several other companies that I worked with too, and it was similar situations, but mainly it was, and you get to be with working with writers a lot too that were pretty well-known writers, that you'd be going, wow, this is crazy. But that's just cool, it just was a way of life. I mean, really.
Yeah. And people were just so down to earth, about it.
They were so down to earth, and it's still that way from now from 2000 to here. Yeah. Which has been 25 years. It's hard to believe, but it's the same thing. I mean, I went to a writer's show the other night, and the writers on the show were fantastic, and just went after it was over. They knew me as a writer, and I got to talk to them and stuff. It was just like, this is just part of the deal,
Yeah, just fun.
It's a blast.
Yeah, I bet.
I wouldn't trade anything, about this. I mean, I've been so blessed with this career, and being able to, and I think about this a lot too, being able to do music all the time. I mean, it's just what I do, and I know that we're going to talk about this a little bit later too, but it's also enabled me to be there for this organization that I was a co-founder of.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I can't wait for us to dive into that. So, and that will be all in the show notes too, that you'll be able to find out there. But before we get there, so man, I mean, man, your whole life basically has been in music. So like, how has your identity and purpose, as a songwriter, as an artist, I mean, shifted over time?
Well, I guess the truth of the matter is, when I first got my publishing deal in 1982, that shifted my songwriting career, because I went from being an amateur songwriter to a professional songwriter.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen overnight either, because they were my publisher and all the very experienced writers that were already there took me in under their wing, and I mean, these guys were having number ones all the time, and so that was a shift right there to go slide into that, and then but it was almost like, is this really happening to me? I can't believe this is happening to me. And so, and I got invited to CMA Awards one time, and I said, well, the tickets were $100 or so. I said, well, I don't have the money to do it. And he goes, don't say a word. Just take the ticket. We're going to go together. Wow. And so, and they got to go to the party afterwards, and this was like my first year there. And just all kinds of stuff. That was a shift. I mean, because a huge shift. Then, as time went along, and I think I'm trying to get this timing right, but in 1990 or 89, I formed a trio. And it was with Randy Van Warmer and Jeff Pearson and me, and we were like an acoustic trio. And we had our voices blended amazing. We had amazing harmony. And Randy Van Warmer was this, in my mind, was a huge artist already, because he had that song "Just When I Needed You Most," which was a huge hit. He was the artist and the writer.
Wow. Yeah,
and that was from he was at what's the same label that the band was on. He was on that label.
Okay.
Bearville Records. Anyway, so and so that was a shift too, because all of a sudden. And Jeff and I were already friends. Jeff was writing at the company, and so, and he's from California, but so we started playing this trio, and we started getting shows that were pretty big, and we went to Europe and played at the Wembley Fest over in London.
How cool, man!
It was just crazy, man. I found some pictures the other day. I'll have to share them with you of us on stage at Wembley.
Oh, dude, please do. I would love to see that.
Yeah, you might recognize me, but I had black hair. And that was probably, But anyway, so that was a shift, and then Randy left the trio, and Billy Montana came in, and Billy Montana's been he's like my brother. I mean, we started writing in 1986 together, and so,
cool.
And that went pretty far too. I mean, we showcased for a couple of huge producers, Jimmy Bowen, and also Harold Shedd. Now, Jimmy Bowen was he was big time in this city for quite a few years, and Harold Shedd too produced Alabama. Yeah, and so. Both of those guys had us play showcases, and so when you get to that point, you got us and you got somebody else that's right there. They're going to make a choice between those two, and both times they chose the other person, the other artist, and which was probably a blessing, because it kept me as a writer, which is what I came over here to be anyway. I came to Nashville to be a songwriter. Yeah. Artist was close second, but really it was songwriting. That's what I came over to do.
Wow, how cool! Wow.
Now, did I answer the question? I think.
Yeah, man. Definitely share those pictures with me, because I would love to see that.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting.
Well, what an incredible opportunities. I'm sure that was just so much fun during those times. Well,
the thing is about when you're doing shows at Wembley, for example, I'll tell you who all was on the shows. They're all different shows. We opened.
Wow.
You ready for this? We opened for Jerry Lee Lewis.
I don't know. Oh, what?
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis.
How cool, man.
He was on the show. Willie Nelson was on the show. Emmylou Harris was on the show.
Wow.
She played with her new band that she had, the Hot Band, I think they called themselves, and a couple others too. That and then after in like in the bar area, you go in there and you just have conversations with all these people.
Yeah.
David Allan Coe was on the show.
Cool.
I mean, it was crazy, man. But
That's awesome.
again, it was like that. It was just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Those people were so nice to us.
Yeah.
Because we were right there with them. When we were on the stage just like they were.
I wasn't planning on sharing this, but man, everything you're saying just keeps pointing me back to this. But I remember when I won a competition with WSM, and this has been quite a few years ago. It's like 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And I got the opportunity to open up for the Oak Ridge Boys. Cool. And it was like right outside of Nashville. And I remember I had kind of become friends with Bill Cody, and still love him to this day. Man, he's just such a great guy. Oh my gosh, him and his wife. And I remember I had just done an interview on WSM in let's see what the Gaylord Hotel where they used to be.
Yeah.
And we'd done our interview, and I remember Bill coming back out when we were walking to go back to our vehicles. He'd come back out and he's like, hey Cory. Oh wait, no, let me back up. It was before this. He said, it was before that. He was like, Cory, this is all going to happen, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and be like, was that a dream? And I was like, seriously? I literally did that because it just didn't even feel real. How just that whole experience, it was so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of reminded me of that. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. All those things are things you'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I can remember everything, just about everything when I start thinking about stuff and looking back. Things pop into my head sometimes, and I'm just going, wow, I can't believe I did that. I was over there doing that.
Right. It's just so cool. Just so cool experiences. Well, Steve, is there a song that you've written that has surprised you, either how it came about or even how people have responded?
It surprised me. You mean like something that came out as a single, or...
maybe just kind of like however maybe it. Okay, yeah,
I got one for you.
Okay,
I've got one for you. This one's never been recorded. I recorded it myself, but I wrote this. It took me about, I don't know. It took me a good. I wrote it just in segments. Like sometimes a line would hit me, and I'd start playing. I didn't even write it down for a long time, and I finally said, I got to write this down so I can remember it.
Oh wow!
And, but it's called Life Goes By in a Hurry. Is the name of it. And I had a class reunion coming up, and the guy who was the music guy was somebody I was in a band with when we were boys, basically. I found pictures of that the other day too, of me singing at this backyard party that this guy had at his house. And so Frank Cox is his name, and he called me up. He said, "Hey, dude, we want to do some of your song. I want to play your hit song. I didn't realize you had these songs that were like that." And so I told him which ones to work up, and we did Roundabout Way and Watching You, and there might have been one more we did. I can't remember, but anyway. But he also said, "Hey, would you mind doing a writer's show thing after we play in the band, and just for everybody that's here, And I went,
"Oh, cool!
Wow, that'd be special. I would love that." So this song that surprised me, and it surprised me because I just kept writing it and and I got it to a point where I didn't like one or two lines, and I struggled over those two lines for a long time, and finally one they just hit me. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so. The line is, it's talking about, like about time, where you're sitting, where you come into life and you're working, time seems like it goes really slow, but the older you get, the faster it goes. And so, I referenced having my the house that I live in. I referenced that, and the car that I was driving at the time had, it was an old Durango, and the line says, "This old Dodge I'm driving has seen better days, and the house I'm living in could use a coat of paint. Life goes by in a hurry." I mean, it's like all these things that happen. Well, and then it talks about the kids too. And so that surprised me. I thought, wow, this is just coming together, and so there's a line that said, 30 years just happened somewhere along the way. Life goes by in a hurry. And when I hit that line, I thought, man, I'm going to play this at my class reunion. And when I told them I'd written a song, I said, I didn't write it for the reunion, but I wrote it about us, all of us. Everybody can relate to it. And so I think, and I don't know, I've played it out a few times, but not very many times, but I think I'm going to start playing it out again. Because I wouldn't mind releasing it somehow, because I love the song actually. And I've had it for about 10 years now, at least.
Wow.
And I finished it. I've had it finished for, probably the last 5 years anyway, but it took me a long time to really, a lot of it came out all of a sudden. And then those, like I said, there was 2 or 3 lines that it's just not right. I could tell. I wanted every line to be, meaning something.
Yeah. Well, wow, man, I would love to hear that.
Okay.
It sounds awesome. I mean, you said 30 years, and man, I've been thinking, I just turned 30, and I've been thinking a lot about that lately. I'm like, where did the last 30 years
I know. I know, man. And the people in the crowd at my class, I got a lot of comments from them about that,
Yeah.
Because it was, man, it happens quick.
Well, I think that's really special how, I mean, you didn't even write it down for a long time, but it was something that you couldn't get out of your head. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the funny thing about it is I went to a yard sale one day, and they had a bunch of guitars that they had a bunch up on the porch. There were a couple of cool old guitars, but I went down into this basement area, and on those big old freezers, that you have that kept a deep freeze.
Deep freezer. Yeah.
There was a guitar laying up on top of that, and it didn't have any strings, and it didn't have a bridge on it, but the bridge was down inside the hole. So I picked it up, and that's when I heard the bridge, and I said, "How much for this old guitar right here?" And they said, "A couple bucks." And it's a gut string too. And so I came home and I glued that bridge back on there and, clamped it down real good. And then I put some strings on it. And that's what I started writing this song on.
Really? How cool is that? Wow.
Yeah. And I tuned it. I didn't tune it up all the way. I was afraid to tune it too much tension on that bridge where I'd glued it down, because I'm not a luthier or anything. I didn't know. And so, so I tuned it up to, I don't know, quite a bit lower than normal, and so that's how I wrote it.
That's awesome, man. What a story. That's so cool. Well, man, thanks for sharing all that.
Absolutely.
We're going to dive into kind of this next segment here. It's called Casting It Out There. So, Steve, for those trying to navigate change or uncertainty, what advice would you give them?
Okay, so you're talking about someone who is moving to Nashville, or someone that's already here and navigating through the AI thing? I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I'm hearing.
You're right. There is. I feel like however you want to approach that, man. What is casting it out there, maybe right now, look like for you? Okay.
Well, casting it out there, I mean, and I love that reference to fly fishing. I mean, I do love that. And I'm going to go with you one of these days. We're going to go.
Well, let's do it, man. I'm serious.
Well, it's like if you took me on the golf course, I'd say I'm the worst golfer in the world. And just be patient with me. But, I would love to do that. But yeah, casting it out there is like, when I first thought about that was back in the day when when we would write a song and then we would have it pitched. We'd have a song plugger back in the day, and they would pitch the songs. As a matter of fact, It Takes a Little Rain that the Oak Ridge Boys did was pitched by a song plugger to the A&R people at MCA Records. That's how we got that cut.
Really?
And
Wow.
there's several other ones that way too. I mean, even George Strait, the songs were pitched to those organizations.
Yeah.
Now, today, I know there's still people out there that call themselves song pluggers. I don't know how they're doing it. I think there's more to the job now than it used to be, where it's not just pitching a song. But me personally, I mean, since I'm my own publisher these days, and I'm writing with a lot of writers some of them are published, and we demo we'll demo a song like the old way. But now AI has come into the picture.
Right.
And so one of my co-writers, actually Will Nance, who I co-wrote Roundabout Way and Cool to Be a Fool with,
Love
for
those.
Joe Nichols. And he called me up the other day. He goes, Steve? He calls me Steve-O. He goes, Steve-O?
Steve-O.
Have you messed around with AI yet? Well, I've started to, man, but I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And he goes, me too, man. So we hooked up. We've got a day coming up, not to write, but to work on figuring out what this is. And I don't want it to write. I'm not going to use AI. And I'm casting this out here for sure, but I'm not going to use AI to write a song. I'm not going to do that. There's no way I would say, write me a song, AI. And they can do that. But what I want to do, and what I've heard done, is like, my friend Billy played me a song. He played me the work tape on his phone. And he goes, we wrote this yesterday. And this morning, from one of my co-writers on the song, sent me this and sent him an AI version of that song. It's not Billy singing, but it's kind of like what they did with Randy Travis.
Yeah.
It's not Billy's. It's Billy's phrasing, but it's some voice they found somewhere. I mean, I don't know where they find these voices. And then they put strings on it, and it was amazing. And so I go, well, man, can you? And Will was asking me, he said, can you? I asked him, I said, can you get the tracks separated and put it on your board? He goes, yep, you can do that.
Whoa, I didn't know you could do that with it.
Then you can add a real acoustic if you wanted to, or add fiddle if you would. I mean, the musicianship on AI is freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so amazing how it sounds.
Yeah.
Now you don't always get it on the first try, they say, but this is something I'm casting out new. This is something brand new for me to cast out. I've had a few people send me their songs that AI had done, and that's been I guess about maybe a year ago. A guy from Gatlinburg, who's a lyricist, he said, "Hey, I'm a lyricist, and I found this AI company, and I want you to hear it, see what you think about this." And I listened to it, and I'm like going, "Holy cow, man! That sounds like the singer sounds like a guy on the radio right now. The track, everything about it sounds like right now. It sounds like it could be on the radio."
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about AI too. I mean, some of the labels, but I heard that some of the big time songwriters in town are using it and have been using it for a while because they're writing so many songs and then they're using AI for the demo.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people using that for the demo as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but then it makes me sick because I don't want to put any musicians out of business. You know what I mean?
Right.
But hopefully they'll still make that. I don't think anybody's going to ever use AI to make a record. I mean, if they start putting AI artists out, then we're really doomed.
I think you'd lose that connection, man. We still got to have that connection, you know.
You got to have the personal touch. I mean, the human touch, not personal, but a human touch, you know, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think when I think of a studio session, I think of John Conley and
me too.
You know, and the real drummers and bass players and all that stuff that come in there and they're way better than AI. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, what's a lesson you've learned recently, even after all of these years of writing?
I guess the lesson would be to be more of a chameleon. And when I go into a writing session, what do I need to contribute to this song? And sometimes it could be music. Sometimes it could be lyric. Sometimes it could be a direction the song is going to go. I mean, and it's not that I'm saying that I know all this stuff. I mean, it's a gut feeling to me, after all these years of writing and using my experiences, because I love co-writing. I really do love co-writing, and I love to interact with a co-writing session like you, me, and John have always been, or just you and me too. But have always been. That's what I love to do. I used to write by myself all the time before I came to Nashville, and when I came here, they started putting me with other writers because I know what they were thinking. They were going, "This guy's got some musical talent, but his lyrics, man." And so I've worked with a lot of great lyricists too in my time, and music people too. They've showed me a lot of things about music, but the big thing for me is to know where I can best contribute to the song.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. And what a way to describe that, to be a chameleon, to kind of change as to what needs to be done. That's so cool.
I can do all those things. I'm available. Absolutely. I can do whatever, but it's just being able to, know what I need to do, where I can best help the song. And I'll be glad to do anything. If somebody goes, "Hey, what do you think about this musically?" And I'm like, "What if you added this to that?" Or, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just,
So, a funny side note, Sarah had a chameleon when we were in college.
Oh, it's
it would sit on my head when I would study.
Oh my gosh.
It was just fun to watch it shoot out its tongue.
Yeah.
To eat stuff.
Did it change
but
colors?
Anyways, what's that?
Did it change colors?
It did, yeah.
That's why they call it that, right? Chameleon.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. Yeah, crazy side note, but
yeah, I love that.
But man, let's dive into here. I know we talked about this a little bit before diving in here, and oh man, I just loved it. So, would you share, like, either the scripture, the quote, that lyric, the song, whatever it is, that has helped you through seasons of life?
Well, and I'm not sure what year it came out, but the group is Kansas, and the song was "Carry On, Wayward Son." And I thought of myself as the wayward son, not in a bad way, but it's like, no matter what you're doing, especially, and I feel like those guys are musicians and they're talking to singers and songwriters and because that's what they were. And they're saying, "Carry on, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you're done." I mean, you got something you're doing that you believe in, and you don't really have any guarantees.
Yeah.
With this business, there's no guarantees at all. And I left everything in Arkansas to start this life, and I, started on a journey, and along the way, all kinds of things have happened, and like I said in the song, 30 years just happened somewhere along the way, But I'm not sure about scripture. I would have to. I mean, I don't really memorize scripture, but when I come across some, because Lori and I, we read a lot of things in the Bible because we're following it through the church that we're going to. And they have you doing this during the week, and so a lot of times I'll hear things. I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know the, what it is, but but that song "Carry On, My Wayward Son," I think was probably I have a playlist of my favorite songs, and there's a lot of songs that I really like, but when that song comes on, I crank it back up and I listen to every word every time. I know what they are. I mean, I sing it, of course. I'm singing at the top of my lungs driving down the road.
I love that, man. Yeah, you crank it up, windows down, all that.
All that stuff. Well, it's too hot to have the windows down right now, but
It's right now. Yeah.
I would definitely have them down if if it's a nice fall day or something. But
Absolutely.
and there's other songs too, but that one probably sticks out the most to me as a life defining song for me to carry on. What you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I know you even mentioned before we jumped on here about making a joyful noise. And man, I'm telling you, I really mean this. I know I've mentioned this throughout the episode, but you just radiate that. That is a
Thanks,
gift
brother.
that you have, man. And it empowers me. So thank you for that. Thank you for your friendship, Steve.
Oh man.
It's been such
Right
a
back at you,
pleasure.
bro.
Well, thanks, man. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. And, I just appreciate you being willing to share your story and just be a steady voice in the music industry. I think that
Thank you.
we need that. We need that, man. Let's, before we kind of reel it in, if you will, here with me.
Yeah, I love that too.
I'm trying to think of all the little analogies I can get back to.
Yeah.
I would love, we mentioned this earlier, but I would love for you to talk about Freedom Sings and like how people can find that. I mean, I've been honored to, Cliff reached out to me to do a song, I think this past year. And man, I was just truly honored to get the opportunity to sing on that. And I know you are just such an advocate for our veterans, and we need people like that. So yeah, man, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, freedomsingsusa.org is how you can go to the website and you can see what we're up to and what's going on. We do. We had our first retreat in Chattanooga in 2014, and then it was before we were actually a program, though. We just got some veterans together and we brought some songwriters down, and it was kind of the birth of it, And then, like in May of 2015, we decided we need to start a class. So Don Goodman and Bobby Standifer, it's a lady, she's a executive director, and myself co-founded Freedom Sings USA. And we've written over 500 songs right now with veterans. We're in our 11th year.
Wow.
Right now,
Yeah.
and we're approaching 500 songs that we've written with veterans. What we do is we pair professional songwriters with veterans, and they tell us their story. So when a veterans, and we call it the hot seat, and Don Goodman interviews the veterans.
Okay.
I'm the music guy. Don interviews and gets them to tell their story, and Bobby Standifer, she scribes all that. So we get like 3 or 4 pages of text, if you want to call it that. And whereas if you get the text, and then after we get to a point, Don might go, or I might say, you know what, man, that line right there would be a great title for this, or that should be the first line of the song, because it just sets the tone, of what's happening. And so then we start writing, getting the lyrics done, and I always ask the veterans, what style of music do you like? Like if I came over to your house and we listened to some music, what would you want to listen to? And so in the Vietnam veterans, a lot of them say, well, I love Creedence Clearwater, or they like Johnny Cash comes up a lot, and sometimes there's groups that I've never heard of that some of the younger guys bring up. And so my goal is to find, not to copy it or anything like that, but to pattern a musical style like a Johnny Cash, or like Creedence Clearwater, or Nirvana. I mean, whatever they want, whatever the guy likes. And like I said, it's not copying the music. I go out and listen to a couple of the songs and then kind of see where chord structures are, and then I just go off on my own little tangent and come up with something. So that's what, and then getting that lyric to phrase into what this melody's doing, it is so cool how that works. And man, when it comes together, it's amazing. We've had a lot of people say to us, to Don and me especially, they're going, man, how'd y'all do this? It's like magic how y'all did this. And we go, well, this is what we do. But the difference is, and this is the part that, because a lot of people have, called me up and said, hey man, I'd love to help out with Freedom Sings. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love for you to. But it's not just writing a song. It's not like we do, and like Don and I always say, Don's been in the business 50 something years. I've been in it 40. And, it's not like going down on Music Row and coming up with a great idea and then making up a song around that. This is about, this song title hopefully would be something that would be relevant to what the veterans song is going to be about. And then each line is none of them are made up. Every line has to be true. And we don't say it's done until the veteran goes, I love this. This is exactly what I wanted to say. And then, and as time goes along, then when we have to have sponsors to do this, but we like to take those songs into the studio and have them recorded. So we haven't got all 500 of them recorded, but we've got quite a few of them recorded so far. Yeah. But it's been a life-changing thing for me. It has changed my life every time that a song gets written. And when I see, because a lot of times there's tears, there's anger sometimes. It's like you can tell that, just things that they're going through. The PTSD is not a good thing. And we don't say we're healing it. We're just saying that we're getting it out. Because a lot of times it's pressed down into their, in their gut, and they can't get it out. So once they can get it out, then it makes them feel, makes them feel better. Like, I'm okay. Wow, I said all that. That's important to get all that out of my system, Yeah. And when the music's played, I mean, it's and the smiles come on their face. It's like, wow, this is what it's all about.
That's right, man.
If you anybody that would like to get in touch with us, you can go to freedomsingsusa.org. That's our website, and you can find us on Facebook too. Just under Freedom Sings, I think it's USA. You got to put USA.
Yeah, it's Freedom Sings USA. Yeah, I just found that on Facebook last night, and I didn't realize y'all had a Facebook page. So, but yeah, you can find that. Yeah, it's Freedom Sings USA.
Yeah, and that kind of keeps you up to date of what's actually happening. We're getting ready to go. We're getting ready to have what we call a Heroes Night down on Lower Broadway, where cool. At let's see, Honky Tonk Central. Sometimes we go to Kid Rock's. Sometimes we go to Honky Tonk Central, and we honor veterans down there. And there's a big crowd of people that comes in that are just there, and they get to find out about us that way too.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're always looking for sponsors. Anybody out there that would like to sponsor a veteran, sponsor of the year. I mean, whatever, because we're a nonprofit. And we're trying to reach as many veterans as we possibly can.
I love that, man. We will have all of that in the show notes so people can find it. There was one other thing I was going to ask you along with that. Do y'all meet weekly? Is that kind of?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. We have a weekly class. We have several classes, actually. We have like 5 different classes that we're doing. And we call them classes because we just meet. We started out in Chattanooga. That's where we were founded, where we founded the organization. And Erlanger Hospital donated a room at the Lifestyle Center. They donated a room, and we've been there all these years, 11 years now. We've been going to this room, and that's awesome because it's a beautiful facility. It's perfect for what we need, and we just sit around the table. We have these tables set up, and then we also, since COVID now, before COVID, we were going to Chattanooga once a week, every Wednesday. COVID hit, and we discovered Zoom, and so we started doing Zoom classes for a couple of years only. And then when the coast was clear, we started going down and we call it a hybrid class, and we go down every other week to do a live class, but also every week is also a Zoom class too. So we have people from Ohio, California. We even had somebody from Alaska and Hawaii that would show up to our class, and they're all over the place. It's great.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to go to Shiloh, Illinois, for a retreat, which will be our third, maybe our third or second. But we keep having these retreats, and they keep having us back, and I think it's we're helping a lot of veterans in those areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, we will have all that in the show notes. Thank you, all of you, for what y'all are doing. I mean, man, yeah, y'all are touching lives out there.
It's our honor and our privilege. It's a real honor to do it. I'm telling you.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, and to get to know veterans like on a personal level, and they're lifelong friends. That's just the way it's from. I mean, the very first veteran that we wrote with, I'll just say his name was Jerry. Jerry, the first meeting, Don said to the group, I mean, it was really awkward, awkward kind of, because we didn't know what to expect. And so Don said, well, does anybody have anything they want to say? And Jerry raised his hand. He goes, I got some poems. And Don says, you want to read them? He goes, nope, you read them. So Don took them and started reading them. And I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. I mean, people had tears in their eyes. Well, anyway, so a few weeks later, as we kept having these classes every Wednesday, and Jerry kept coming back, and we wrote Jerry's song first. It's called Young Jerry, Old Jerry is the name of his song. And the young Jerry was this big dude going into Vietnam. He got off the plane at Long Binh, which was the Air Force base in Vietnam, and he had a clean uniform. He was 19 or 20 years old, and then he got off the plane. He saw all these guys coming out of the jungle that were wounded and crippled, and people holding on to them, carrying them in, and they were dirty. And he looked in his mind. He said, Steve, I knew in my mind right then, I knew who the old Jerry was going to be if the young Jerry got out of here alive.
Wow.
I know. But anyway, if Jerry walked in right now, if he came in the room here, I'd just say, Cory, excuse me a minute, I got to go over here and wrestle with this guy. I mean, it's that kind of a deal. He became a lifelong friend, and the great thing is this: I don't see Jerry that much. As a matter of fact, I hadn't seen him in quite a while, but he has moved his life forward, and he accredits this program for doing it.
Wow.
I mean, he really has. He went out and bought some land. He was just living in a room somewhere, for a long time, and didn't have much self-esteem at all. Now he's not cured. I'm not saying he's cured. I'm just saying that he was able to, the veterans, healing veterans in the room too. Because once we get the song written and people start talking amongst themselves, then Don and I and Bobby, we just get out of the conversation and let them talk to each other because they heal each other.
Yeah. Absolutely,
the young guys,
man.
The Vietnam vets healing the young guys the Vietnam guys had 50 years on, of stuff that they've had crammed down in their gut. And then, but the young guys coming back, they've got problems too. But the Vietnam vets they're like, nobody's ever going to treat a veteran coming home like they treated us. The Vietnam vets had a rough time coming back.
Right.
And it's just an amazing thing, Cory. I mean,
yeah.
I'd love for you to come and work with a veteran sometime.
I would love to, man. I would truly be honored by that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you would be really good at it. You'd definitely have the heart for it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, man, thank you for sharing that. And for everybody listening out there, I just encourage you, please go like the page, keep up with what they got going on, get involved if you're able to, because it's just such a powerful thing that y'all are doing for the veterans. Steve, man, how can people follow you? I mean, you're busy all the time, man, but how can people keep up with you?
Well, you know what? And the thing is that we're actually building a house right now. So the last 3 months, I've lived in my house for 35 years. Lori and I have lived here 35 years, and the last 3 months we've been packing stuff up, and I've kind of I've fallen off. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on both of those. Steve Dean. I think it's just Steve Dean Music on Instagram, and just type in my name on Facebook, and you'll get me. But I have a website too. It's stevedeanmusic.com, and
Yep.
that I've been, like I said, I've been so busy lately that I've kind of neglected that a little bit. But you can still go on there and see some things that's going on. I think I'm trying to stay up to date. Like the first page, I usually I'll list a couple of singles that may have come out, and then there's just information on there too about me and if you want to know anything.
Absolutely,
but,
man.
Yeah, and I think that's about it. I'm trying to get back into the Facebook thing again. And the Instagram thing. I'm trying to get back into it, but
It's a lot to keep up with.
It's a slow process after you've been out of it for 3 months. One of my buddies said, "Man, you're never on anymore." And I'm going, it's not because I don't want to be. It's just that I'm just working so much at home. I mean,
Well, and for like any of your shows, or if anybody wants to send you an email or reach out or book you, they can do all that through your website?
Yeah, they could email me too if they wanted to.
Okay.
Steve.Bethar, Bethar music@gmail.com.
Awesome. We'll have that in the show notes.
I try to put my gigs up there on the website too, but I know I'm behind.
Okay.
But I'll try to catch up. I'll try to catch it up.
Well, that's great, man. Well, thank you, Steve, for being on here today. We're going to begin to kind of reel it in here, as I was talking about a while ago. But just like in fly fishing, that's right. Sometimes the most important part isn't the cast. It's watching closely for when to respond. And Steve's story reminds us that even in the unknown, there's wisdom in the pause, in the pivot, and in choosing to move forward with purpose. So wherever you're standing today, don't be afraid to release what's been in your hands and cast it out, the gifts that you've been given. So Steve, man, thank you. It has been such a pleasure today, dude.
It's so awesome, man, to see you.
Well, it's so great to see you too, man. Do you want to say yeehaw, amen at the end of this?
Yes.
All right.
Am I going to do it right now?
We're going to do it here in just a second.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Coffee with Cory. I can't believe this is the final episode of season 1. I am going to do like a little review episode, if you will, kind of coming off of this next week. So stay tuned for that. I would love to hear if anybody has any questions out there. Send them to me. You can email them to me at Cory Jackson at CoryJacksonMusic.com. You can send them on the Messenger on Facebook or all the social media platforms as well. But it has been so fun doing this, man, and just having like different guests and just getting to know even more of their story and learning how to cast it out there from each and every person. And thank you guys for listening. Big shout out to everybody that's been involved with this. I'm just truly grateful for the opportunity to get to sit down and chat with each and every one of you. So guys, trust the cast, embrace the journey, and let's go. Or you might hear us say, as Steve's going to say right here,
Yeehaw! Amen, brother.
Rock on, man. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, y'all.